Basse Dance by Peter Warlock is a dance in 3, which is a moderate pace, not too fast, not too slow. And while we're looking at this piece, we've got 3 things that we're going to focus on. One is going to be the articulation. That's to do with the staccatos, the accents, the tenuto marks. It's the detail of what's been written above or below the note. The other thing that we need to think about quite a lot in this piece is moving between first and second position. You need to be really secure in your shifts, and we will go through practically every single way you can get from first to second position with the same finger shift, getting from the first finger to the 4th finger with no intervening note, or making the shift to the 2nd finger and then placing the 4th finger. So all of those different types of shifts appear in this music. And then the final thing is there's lots of times where we need to retake the down bows. So let's start by thinking about the articulation. Right from the start, there's an awful lot of detail in the music. In the first bar, we have staccato. Then we have a line across the note, the tenuto. And then we have more staccato. And then we have an accent. So the staccatos we're going to make by getting hold of the string relatively firmly, not as much as we will for an accent, but making a gap between each note so that we can grab hold of the string and then move our arm. So we don't need to be fluid at all. We don't want that was all the same bow stroke. Nothing like what has been asked of us in the music. So here are the staccatos, and then the tenuto. We're going to lead into the next notes. We're going to keep the bow on the string and then go staccato. And then when I get to the accent, I've got hold of the string, I've made an even faster release with my arm than I did for the staccato. So you want to notice all of the articulations that are on the music. Then later on, when we get to bar 14, that's when we have our first retake bow. So it's this passage here. Now, if I need to make a retake, I have to think about it while I'm playing the note before. If I do a straight line bow, by that I mean if I just let my arm come out in a straight line like this, straight out, I've got an awful long way to go to get my hand and the bow back to the string. But if I play the note before with a circular motion, then the movement involved in the down bow also brings me back to the heel. And there's a staccato dot on that F before we do the retake, so we don't need to worry about sustaining it. Doesn't need to be like that. That's the gesture that we want. Now when we get to bar 17 in the piece, we get lots and lots of these retakes. And this is when the music gets that bit more complicated, because we also have to slide and shift in and out of first and second position. So let's have a look at each of those individual shifts that we need to do. We finish with the, and that's the end of that section. Now, what I'm tempted to do here is to slide my hand. You see how I've left my 4th finger on the A string? I'm going to slide my hand down a semitone, so I'm now playing the D with my 4th finger. Because then I'm ready in second position for the middle C. All of this passage has retake down bows. So it's worth just going bar by bar, getting used to doing the retakes. Right, there's our first shift back into first position, and it's the same finger shift. So we go from 4 to 4. So you release the weight in the string and lift your arm. It's only a semitone. It's not a very big lift. And the most crucial thing is that your thumb also slides down the neck. So when you go from second position to first position, do you see how my thumb is sliding? You might think, oh, I can just lean back with the fingers and come forward and back and forward. But that creates tension in the hand. And it might work for luck, but it's not going to work long term. So just get used to moving the whole hand as a block up and down the fingerboard. So I've got to the B now, and then the next section stays in first position. Now in the next group of notes, I need to get from the A to the middle C. I'm going to slide on my first finger and put my fourth finger down. I'm not going to try and hop to my fourth finger. No, I'm going to measure. If I hop, I have no real way of measuring. So what I want to do, slide the first finger to the B flat and put all four fingers down. So we had slide on your first finger, and then I slide on my fourth finger and lift up so my first finger plays. If I do it really slowly so you can hear the slides, it'll go. But of course we don't hear those slides when we do them with the correct bow stroke and up to speed. Next bit. Yet another way of shifting into second position. I'm going to slide to the B flat with my first finger, but this time I'm going to put my second finger down. So I play B natural. And then a same finger shift. And that takes us to the end of that middle section. The only other thing that we want to look at in this piece is going to be the last two bars. Look at the articulation there. Massive amount of information on the music. It's 3 fortes, it's got accents, and it's got staccato dots. So you need to relax your arm weight. You need to have the weight going into the string here as heavily as you can. Keep that weight. And put as much energy into the string as you can. If you can see what my string is doing here, you'll see it's really vibrating a lot from side to side. That's how much energy is going into the string. Now it's that energy that's going into the string that gives me the volume and the attack. If I go nearer the bridge, can you see the string's not vibrating nearly as much, and the sound isn't terribly nice. Playing loud by going nearer the bridge isn't going to work in a situation like this. So let's keep the bow not too far away from the fingerboard, but certainly not close to the bridge, and judge how well you're doing by how much the string is vibrating.